So, just the other day, there was another trailer that was released for the upcoming standalone DC film, The Joker. Now, unlike that piece of crap Skywalker film that I talked about just the other day, I believe that this film actually has potential. And in this video, I'm going to be going through various parts of that film trailer, and I'm also going to be talking about why I believe that this upcoming Joker film has the potential to be a really good film, possibly up there with The Dark Knight. So I believe firstly what we need to talk about regarding this trailer and this film overall really is the fact that it's very likely going to be exploring the origin story of the Joker. Now, it can be argued that that can be a both good and bad thing. We'll start with the good first. The reason it is good is because of the fact that there are some good stories you could tell. There's themes you could explore. There's many things you could do with an origin story of the Joker. But the reason you could argue that it's a bad thing is because of the fact that it takes away the mystery on what kind of led to the Joker becoming what he is. One of the reasons that the Dark Knight adaptation, the Heath Ledger adaptation of the Joker was so good was the fact that we knew so little about him. In other words, less is more. The Joker from The Dark Knight was the perfect example of a character like that done right. And from what we know of the character in the trailers themselves, is he seems like a kind of person that was down on his luck. You know, nothing is going right for him. He just starts out looking like a person who is kind of looking to do good. We actually get a clip in the trailer of him trying to make a child laugh, but then the mother just tells him to, well, F off, basically. In many ways, it seems like he gets the feeling that nobody wants him, everybody detests him, and it all builds up over time, and that's how the Joker is formed. That's how the Joker came to be, and you could say. We also get another scene as well where he ends up getting, I think he gets a sign stolen from him, and then they end up beating him up in an alleyway with that sign, or something like that from what we saw in both the trailers. Overall, there are a number of themes that you could explore here. You could explore how, you know, every person has their limits, even if they are set out to do good. They do intend to do good things, make people, entertain people or whatever. One of the themes, for example, you could explore is how everyone does have their limits. If you push someone far enough, they are eventually going to snap, like it seems that's what happens with the Joker. Now, talking about various characters and character development and the sorts of roads that they could take each character down, let's talk about Robert De Niro in this, who's going to be a type of supporting character. Now, while we talk about Robert De Niro, we all need to be aware, we all know this already, he's another one of these liberals, and he makes it plain to everyone that he is a liberal and he does detest Donald Trump and all of that stuff. Like 90% of Hollywood detests Trump and they make that blatant. But talking about the type of character he is in this film, he is from what we know, a type of TV show host or something like that ends up humiliating the Joker. Now, whether he's going to be a type of antagonist or if he's going to be an antagonist to the Joker for what he does to him, we don't really know yet as of this moment, but when more information comes out about the film, it will be interesting to see what they at least do with him. But this is someone that's not done a good film since the mid-90s, really, or the late 90s. The last good film, if you ask me, that he done was probably Ronin, and everything after that, most of the stuff that he did throughout the mid-2000s was utter crap, and overall, let's just hope that this isn't one of those films that ends up becoming part of that terrible film category. Now, from what we see in this trailer also, I need to bring this up, potential messaging. Now, talking about messages that you get in films, and especially these days when it comes to modern liberal Hollywood that we have to put up with, usually when it comes to a film trying to send a certain political message or a message of some other sorts, is the fact that when they do push that message, and they blatantly are trying to push that message, one of the problems, okay, there are many problems with it, but one of the problems is the fact that you can kind of get an idea on what sort of film it is going to be, because of the fact that they prioritise trying to send that message in the film rather than tell a good story. Now, there is one scene in the trailer that I think everyone knows about already, and that is the kissing scene where he starts kissing the mixed race woman. It was that actress from Deadpool, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember her name, but it does look like there's going to be some sort of romance plot or something like that potentially in the film as well. Now, even though there are little sprinkles of liberal messaging throughout the trailer, if it's kept to a minimum and they don't keep ramming it down your throat and all of that kind of stuff, it can be disregarded and the film can still be decent if they do keep that politics pushing at a minimum. But however, we just have to wait and see when this film comes out. But all I'll say is if the film prioritises trying to send some kind of liberal message, overall that will be the downfall of the film if they do prioritise it and don't keep it to a minimum. But like I said, we'll have to wait and see regarding that. Now, my overall opinion on the film from what we know of it so far, what we know of the Joker, is that it can potentially be a masterpiece. Now, as long as they just keep the sprinkles of diversity and all the liberal messaging to an absolute minimum and they don't prioritise it over telling a good story. And from what we see in the trailer itself, we do have the potential of a really good film here. And this adaptation of the Joker played by Joaquin Phoenix can be up there with the Heath Ledger adaptation of the Joker that we got in The Dark Knight, but we will have to wait and see on what sort of stuff they do in this film before we go too quick to judge. But from what we've seen of it in the trailers and everything like that, this film does have potential. But just because a film has potential doesn't mean that it will automatically be a good film. This could either be a masterpiece compared to The Dark Knight, or it could be a total mess of a film compared or comparable to Batman and Robin from 1997. Let's at least hope it's nothing like that film. But overall, people, be sure to let us know what you think about this upcoming film down below. What are your opinions on this adaptation of the Joker? Do you believe it will be faithful to the comics? Do you believe that it does have potential like I do? Be sure to let us know what you think about this film down below. Okay, gentlemen, this has been Lord Flashheart. Be sure to rate, comment, favourite, share and subscribe, and I will see you again. Cheerio!